Hello everyone, and today I would like to talk about something that may make some of you feel uncomfortable because we are being surrounded by a culture that promotes happiness all the time, to the extent that we are even, celebrating always a cult of happiness. Um, and the reason why I would like to speak about unhappiness is because of the fact that we all experience unhappiness sometimes every day, and to normalize the discussion of unhappiness so that we can make peace with it. Okay? Unhappiness manifests in different forms, okay? And sometimes we can just shrug it off, but other times, it comes in the form of illnesses because of all the pent-up emotions that we carry within us. And for some people, this may come in the form of addictions as well, alcohol, even food addictions, bipolar disorder, and all kinds of different issues, to the extent of even becoming depressed or very, very angry and bitter about things. All right? And the reason why people resort to all these things is because in some ways they are trying to find a coping mechanism to deal with the unhappiness, because they are not able to sort of sit with the emotion and let it transform them, and have this sense of panic and struggle associated with the unhappiness. All right, so I think it is really, really important that we are able to discuss unhappiness in a way that does not bring shame to the feeling, so that we are able to make peace with it and access its power to transform our lives for the better. Okay, so firstly, I would like to say that in many ways we are actually not born unhappy, right? Of course, if we don't have enough food to eat, we don't have enough water to drink, we are going to be unhappy, right? And I'm not referring to that sort of unhappiness. I'm talking about the unhappiness that we feel when we compare ourselves to other people who are doing better than us, and then we feel that we are lacking in some areas because they are doing better than us career-wise or in terms of their relationships. That kind of unhappiness is actually socially programmed. And I feel that it's important for us to just pause and reflect whether or not we really want to go down that lane and allow that kind of feeling to fester. Okay, and another reason why many people are unhappy is because their view of abundance is very, very limited. And again, that is largely socially programmed in us as well. And we tend to associate abundance with the material world and with money and prosperity and with accumulating things, whether it's a house or a car or a job and a career and stuff like that. And that's our view of abundance. And when in actual fact, abundance is actually present in so many other different ways. And if we can broaden our idea and our experience of abundance, then this idea of being unhappy because we do not have the material stuff would actually sort of fade into the background, and that builds momentum for us to invite abundance in all different aspects. So how else can we experience abundance? We are abundant because we've got air to breathe, we are abundant because we've got water to drink, we've got food to eat, we've got family and friends, we have got our bodies to make use of, because of nature that is all around us, okay, because we are alive. There are so many different ways to feel abundant, okay. Again, I'm not assuming that all of us have got access to it, but I'm saying that no matter what you do not have right now, all right, and whatever area of lack that you are feeling right now, you have to understand that this whole idea of deprivation and lack is really relative, okay, and there's always going to be somebody else who is not having what you have. And cultivating that sense of appreciation and abundance is going to go a very, very long way in helping you make peace with your unhappiness. Okay, and another thing that I want to touch on is the fact that unhappiness itself has become a dirty word in many ways. Okay, when in actual fact, unhappiness is a human emotion that is very, very real and very, very raw, and something that we all experience, as I mentioned earlier. Okay, and when we go through certain traumatic events, okay, let it be a loss of a loved one, or sorry, okay, loss of a loved one, or For instance, losing a job, okay, or losing a relationship, okay, and not winning some competition or whatever, okay, we do get unhappy. And I feel that we should be able to embrace that unhappiness and not necessarily see it as a problem, because once we start condemning ourselves for being unhappy and struggling and resisting the emotion, whatever we resist is going to basically persist, okay? And once we release that resistance and we really sit with the unhappiness and sort of be fully present with it and reflect on how it's affecting us, why it's affecting us, and then just watch the emotion, after a while that unhappiness is going to transcend into something else. All right? And unhappiness is something that has been discussed in many religious texts as well. All right? And Buddha, for instance, did mention that life is about suffering. Okay? And there's this whole idea of the dark night of the soul that we all have to sort of go through so that we can come out of our shells, you know, and find our true power and our true peace, and commune with the divine, you know, and basically experience life in its various shades. All right. So in that sense, I feel that it is good that we do not condemn ourselves when we feel unhappy, and we allow ourselves to feel unhappy, and acknowledge as well that there's a time and there's a place for everything. Okay, I'm not saying that we dwell on miserable thoughts and you know, just enter into cycles of depressive behavior and stuff like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying that when something has happened in our lives, it is normal for us to feel unhappy, and we shouldn't condemn ourselves and attack ourselves for feeling unhappy, because that is just going to worsen it. Okay, and we need to believe that when we are feeling unhappy, it is something that is temporary, and we are able to transcend it. And our bodies and our minds and our spirits, all three, are able to basically heal themselves. Okay, in the same way, when we have a cut, okay, our body, you know, our bodies naturally starts healing, right, to cover the wound and stuff like that. Similarly, at a psychic level, when we are feeling pain and trauma, when given time and when we are given the right kind of support, and of course we need to ask for help as well, we are able to heal ourselves. And that knowledge of the temporality of the unhappiness itself is going to make it easier for us to sit with the emotion rather than resist or pretend it doesn't exist. Okay, and of course, another thing that we need to be aware of that can help us is the fact that we live in a universe of contradictions and contrasts rather. Okay, and when we are feeling unhappy, discontented, upset, we must know in our heart of hearts that our happiness is on the other end of the spectrum. It is within our reach, and it's already out there. And use this unhappiness as sort of a platform for us to become clearer about what it is that we desire, what is it that we want, how can we learn from our mistakes, how can we grow and evolve, and then we're going to become happier in time to come. And life is a series of ebb and flow, of rhythm that we should just sort of embrace, rather than become obsessed about why we're unhappy and why, you know, we are sort of stuck at this state, because it is not going to be permanent as long as we are able to focus differently. Okay, and I think that consciousness and awareness itself will take us a very long way in terms of finding peace with unhappiness. Okay, and I feel that another thing that we can do that would help us to transcend unhappiness is also meditating. And if you do not want to use the word meditation, just being quiet, closing your eyes, relaxing, breathing, calming yourself down without having the need to discuss everything all the time, and letting your own silence give you that sense of peace and give you that sense of centeredness. Okay, and meditation will also help you to make better decisions and overall, you know, access this very, very deep sense of tranquility, okay, and quiet. And sometimes that quiet is the best thing that we can give ourselves to make sense of our pain, to make sense of our frustration and our unhappiness. And we are able to see things, in a better way, and sort of make peace with the feeling. Okay. And lastly, what I would like to share with you is the fact that we should not be afraid to feel any emotion that we are feeling, okay, whether it is anger, unhappiness, frustration, pain, okay, that is part of being human. And I feel that when my clients are able to really be fully present with whatever it is that they are feeling at that point in time and embrace it and acknowledge it and really look it in the eye, they are able to actually transcend that emotion. And the key thing here is our feelings are basically directing us towards taking purposeful action. And whatever it is that we are feeling, if we are feeling happy, super happy, contented, I feel that it is wonderful to share our happiness with other people, and that action makes makes it so much more sort of meaningful. Of course, you can do whatever you want with this suggestion of mine. It's just a suggestion, okay? And in the same way, if we are feeling unhappy, that unhappiness is not meant for us to just sit and dwell upon, but rather it is meant for us to reflect on why are we feeling unhappy, and then from there take the action steps that we need to take to feel happy, to really examine what it is that we need to do. Do we need to change our behaviors? Do we need to change our diet? Do we need to change our careers? Do we need to change our living environment? Do we need to get out of certain relationships? Take the action, all right? Because ultimately, I think that the balance is really, really important, right? We can only talk about feelings and feel these emotions, and those are so important to feel. And ultimately, that should energize our actions, and we should take actions. And once we take the actions, our life starts to transform and it starts to change. Okay, so I hope that this discussion has been beneficial to you in some way. And thank you very much for watching.